Hey there guys, and welcome back to my channel. For today's video we are doing a first impressions and I'm actually really excited about it. So this is the Flamingo palette from Violet Voss. I just got this in the mail yesterday, so I'm going to be doing a first impressions with this. We're going to swatch all of the colors. I'm really excited about this palette. It looks super pretty, very colorful, very summer, and I am excited to dig into it. So if you guys are ready to get started with this first impressions on the Violet Voss Flamingo palette, go ahead and keep on watching. Like the vibes we're going with. I got the purple backdrop, I've got like the bright yellow green shirt. I thought that would be perfect to go in with the Flamingo palette. So I just got this yesterday. I did take it out of the packaging. Here's what the packaging looks like. So it's kind of the same as the palette. This is a new palette from Violet Voss and it retails for $45. There is 20 shades inside. Here are the shades. So pretty, so fun. It ranges from some mattes. There's also shimmers in here. And then there is a really nice large mirror on this side here. And it has like a cute little flamingo and some flip-flops. So I really like the theme of it. Also, the names in the palette are really cute, very summery. So this is, like I said, $45. I did get it when they did like a pre-sale. They did like a little pre-sale launch. That's when I picked mine up. And it took about a week or so, I would say, to get here, a little over a week. And now it just says available. I've seen early July and then I've seen mid-July. So I'm not really sure when this palette actually is launching. I don't believe they have an actual date yet, but we can go ahead and get started. About to start it out, I would go ahead and swatch everything. That way we can kind of get a feel for the palette. So I'm gonna go ahead and swatch each one of the shades for you guys. So this first one here is Flamingo. I'm just gonna go ahead and do one swipe on each shade just so we can get like kind of the idea of the pigmentation. Obviously, if you go in a few more times, it's gonna be a better swatch. This one, next shade, is called Donut, and this is a really pretty kind of like pink shimmery shade. The next one I'm gonna go into is called Flip Flops. And this kind of duochrome, really nice kind of peachy shade. Next one I have here is Bikini, and this one is so freaking pretty. And that one is a shimmery purple shade. That one is absolutely gorgeous. The next one I'm gonna go in with is a matte, and this one is Ocean Front. I'm curious how this one, oh, actually didn't swatch too bad. This one is kind of like a very light blue shade. I'm gonna go in with that one actually one more time just so we can kind of see, since it didn't fully swatch. That shade looks really pretty. And then we have Tidal Wave, which is kind of like a green blue shimmer. Whew, that one is pigmented. All right, the next one I'm gonna go in with is Beach Ball. And this is like the same kind of green blue shade, but it's a matte. Actually looks more green in the swatch. The next one I'm gonna go in with is Watermelon. And here is a swatch of Watermelon. Moving right along, we have Lemonade, which is a matte yellow shade. We have Pineapple, which is gonna be like a gold yellow shimmer. We have Popsicle, which is like a orange matte shade. Then we have Sunbathe. Sunbathe does have like a tiny little bit of reflect in it, which you can't really see in this swatch, but it's very similar to the shade before, just a little bit deeper. Here is the first 12 shades. I'm gonna go ahead and wipe these off, and then we'll start with the rest of the shadows. So they are staining actually pretty well. So that's a good sign. That means that they're gonna last on the eye. So I'm gonna go ahead and go into the next shade. So this one is called Surf, and I'm really excited about this one. It's a really pretty kind of like different shade. I don't know how to explain it. So it kind of looks like green, but also kind of blue, but also yellow. That one's really pretty. The next one I have here is called Coral, and this is going to be a coral shade, obviously, but like a pinky coral. There's that one. The next one I'm going to go into is Island, and this one looks like a really pretty coppery orange shade. Ooh, that one's pretty too. There is Island. The next one I have here is Sand, and this one is kind of like that skin matte color that's not really going to show up too well. You can see it a little bit. That's going to be used more for like your beginning of your shadows or to help blend everything. The next one I have here is Seashell, which is going to be a pinky shade. And then we have Pinwheel here, which is like a more vibrant, it actually turns out kind of orangey coppery on the skin, but in the pan it looks kind of pink. And then we have Sandals, which is more of a burnt orange shade. And there is Sandals. And then the last one in the palette is a black, and this one is called Sunnies. And this is just a matte black, and that looks to be really, really pigmented. So here are the last shadows in the palette. As you can tell, this one has a little bit more mattes in here. I'm loving that first color though. So actually they swatched pretty well, and I'm excited to try them all out on my lid. That kind of gave me an idea of which ones I want to use. So let's get started with trying them on my eyes. Okay, so I'm going to start with prepping my eyes with the ColourPop No Filter Concealer. I have this one in light 16, which is way too light for me. So I've been using this one to just kind of prep my eyes for shadow. So I'm just going to put like 3 small dots, and I'm just going to use my damp beauty blender to just kind of blend this out. That's going to be our base for the shadows. I typically just prime with concealer before I put on any shadows, and lately I've actually not been setting it either, so I'm not going to go ahead and set it either for this look. We'll see how they perform without setting it, because that has been what I've been doing lately. So now that we've got that all blended out, we're going to go ahead and get started. So I'm thinking I'm going to go in with Sunbathe first, which is like this very pretty kind of warm transition shade. That's my favorite to put in my crease. I'm going to go in with my Scone blending brush, and I'm just going to pick that up. Now this one does have a little bit of shimmer in it, which actually is probably going to help us with the blending. I'm just going to go ahead and pop this one into my higher crease here and blend it out. I'm going to pick up a little bit more and blend it. I'm just going in with a super, super light hand. And it's actually showing up pretty well, and it seems to be blending out pretty nicely. I do have like slightly hooded eyes, so I always like to tilt my head back when I do my shadow. I just feel like it helps me kind of see if everything is blended. So I do like doing that when I am applying my shadows. I like just kind of tilting my head back just so I can see my whole eye area better. But this shade actually seems to be blending out really nicely, so I'm going to go ahead and start on the other eye and pop that in as well. And that shade actually looks really nice. This is like my favorite shade for the transition area, and I'm really glad that this palette had this kind of orangey, soda-y shade, because I feel like I just need that for my crease. My hair is getting in the way. So yeah, I'm really happy that this shade is in the palette. Okay, so there's that shade all in the crease. It actually blended out really, really nicely. So I'm trying to decide what I want to go in with next. I think I'm going to actually use Flamingo here, this very first shade. And I'm going to use that one in my crease to just kind of deepen it up a little bit. I'm using this on my Sigma E25 brush, and I'm just going to tap a little bit off. And I'm just going to go ahead and pop that just in my crease. And I'm just really softly blending it because I don't want to apply too much product. So I'm just really softly putting that in my crease. That shade is actually really, really pretty, and it's blending really nicely with the first shade that we put on. So far, I'm pretty impressed. I feel like the mattes are performing really well. I do typically like Violet Voss's formula. I feel like they have a really nice buttery formula of shadows. And they do have a little bit of kickback to it when I'm applying it in the pan, but like my palette doesn't look messy at all. All right, so now we've got those both blended together, and what should we do next? I'm kind of wanting to use, I can't decide, because I kind of want to use the oceanfront color. I also want to use like this purple and this teal color. So I'm trying to decide like what I want to do. I think what I'm going to do, this might be risky, but I think I'm going to go in with this blue shade, and I'm going to apply that like all over my lid. So this is oceanfront. This blue shade here, I may regret this. It's just a matte shade, but I think I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to apply this all over my lid and see how that looks. It's actually like a really pretty color, and for a matte shade, it's actually really pigmented. I'm just using my Sigma E58 brush, and I'm just going to kind of pack this all on the lid. I actually feel like this would be like a really pretty eye look if you just kind of like wash those colors back through the crease again. I feel like this would be a really pretty just like matte summery look. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go in with the purple shade next. I'm just going to take that one on my MAC 242 brush, And I am going to pick that shade up. So this is a really pretty foiled purple shade. This one is Bikini, which is this one right here. And I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pack that. I'm gonna start it on the front of my lid. I'm just packing it directly on that first shade. And I'm getting a tiny bit of fallout with that shade. Quite a bit actually right here, just so you guys can see. But a lot of that probably has to do with the fact that we just applied it over the matte. So that might be why we're getting so much fallout. I'm not quite sure. So I'm just applying this on like the inner part of the eye over top of that blue shade just to kind of do like a nice little gradient here. So I'm gonna go back in on the other side and just do the same thing. All right, so you can see we did get quite a bit of fallout, so I'm just gonna go ahead and wipe that away. Fallout can be annoying if you're using like darker shades, but I feel like with shades like this, it's not a big deal to just wipe it away. So this is what we're looking like so far. It's a little bit harsh. I'm gonna go ahead and of course clean that up a bit. I don't know, I'm debating on just kind of staying with this type of vibe because I feel like this is very like soft and like pretty and summery. So I think I'm gonna keep what I have on my lid. And I think I'm gonna work more like on the lower lash line with some more of the shades. First on the lower lash line, I'm gonna go in with Sunbathe, which is that first color that we put in our crease. I'm just using this small pencil brush from Makeup Geek. And I'm just gonna go ahead and apply this just to my eye first. And then I'm gonna add a few colors with it, but I just wanna put this down kind of as like a little base. Now that we have that all blended out, I'm gonna go in with Popsicle here. And I'm just gonna go ahead and deepen that up a little bit. And I'm just using this flat brush from Morphe. I'm just gonna get this as close as I can to my waterline. So now I think to finish it off, I'm gonna go on the inner corner with the pineapple shade, which is that really pretty like golden yellow shade. I'm just gonna pick that up on this little, what is this, the E36 from Morphe. And I'm just gonna pop that, I think, into my inner corner here just to give a little pop to this look. That color is so pretty. All right, so we're just popping that on our inner corner. I feel like I wanted to play with the more like teal blue shades, but I'm kind of loving this kind of like periwinkle, very light eye look. I feel like it looks really pretty and super, super summery. So I'm definitely going to be playing with the other blues tomorrow, but I'm kind of digging how this is turning out so far. Definitely liking the way the shadows are performing. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna apply some lashes and then I'll tell you guys my final thoughts. All right, so we are back after applying lashes and I also put on a lip color. So the lip is from Becca and it is one of their glow glosses in Camila. I also used a NYX lip liner. And then the lashes are actually from Violet Voss and they are the Just Slaying lashes. I don't know if I love these lashes with this look, but I wanted to use the Violet Voss lashes with it. So that is what I did. So now let's get into my final thoughts on the Flamingo palette. So I was actually really impressed with this palette in this first impressions. I absolutely loved the mattes. I feel like they performed super well. They were really easy to blend. They picked up like the perfect amount of product. I find this very comparable to my other Violet Voss palettes. I feel like they have one of the best formulas when it comes to like their mattes. I just feel like they're so buttery and just so easy to work with. And then the shimmers in this palette that I used the pineapple shade as well as Bikini. I feel like those both looked pretty pigmented. I didn't use Fix Plus or anything like that, and they look pretty good. I was super impressed with this one here, the Oceanfront color. I feel like that one was like a really pretty matte color, and I don't feel like it's fading. I mean, it faded a tiny bit, but it's not fading too bad on my eyes, which sometimes with like those more pastel colors that can happen. So overall, I'm pretty impressed. I love that it has the really big mirror on it. So for $45 for 20 shades, I don't think you could go wrong with this palette. I'm really excited to try out like the rest of the blues and the rest of the colors in this palette, but I just feel like it's a really fun palette for summer. I feel like I can create so many different looks with this, from kind of like more warm looks if you just want to use like this row here. You can also create like more pastel-y looks. You could even create some darker looks with like the black and this one here. There's so much variety that you could get with this palette, and I definitely think that it is worth the $45. So I would recommend this palette to you guys. guys. Of course, I will continue to try it out, and if my opinion does change, I will let you guys know. But for this first impressions, I really enjoyed the Flamingo palette. So let me know down below if you guys are planning on picking this palette up, or if you've already purchased it. Let me know your guys' thoughts. Let me know also what other videos you guys would like to see from me. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Also, don't forget to subscribe before you go, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye, friends.